Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Beyond the Dais, a podcast about the stories taking place in and around El Paso County, Colorado. I'm your host, Scott Anderson, and today I am joined by Mary Jo Lewis and Kylee Taylor with the El Paso County Parks Department. How are the two of you doing today?
Fantastic. How are you?
Excellent. You know what? I'm a little under the weather, as you can probably hear in my voice, but that's okay because it's a beautiful day out here at Bear Creek Nature Center. I'm excited to talk to you guys. Got some really cool stuff to talk about today, so I'm excited to get to it. But before we do that, I want to quickly add that if listeners are interested in more stories about people doing good in and around El Paso County, or hearing from county leadership about local government priorities and how they operate, you can find additional episodes of this podcast on your podcast platform of choice. But to get started today, it'd be great if both of you could give us a little bit of background about yourselves and how you ended up here with El Paso County. Mary Jo, let's start with you.
Sure. So I have been at Bear Creek Nature Center for almost 10 years. So I'll be celebrating my 10-year anniversary along with Bear Creek's 50th this year. It's very exciting. I'm the supervisor here at Bear Creek and just really honored to work for such a wonderful park system in such a really special place. Bear Creek Nature Center is truly a special spot, and we do a lot of wonderful things here, and it's just a great thing to be a part of.
And I'm Kylee. I've been here about 4 years at Bear Creek Nature Center, and I am the interpretive program specialist. I came here originally from Nebraska, so this is was a very different ecosystem for me, and I had a very steep learning curve, but it just is such a place of community and joy and togetherness that I've stuck around for 4 years and plan to stick around a while longer.
That's great. So you mentioned, again, we're here at Bear Creek Nature Center. It is the 50th anniversary of Bear Creek Nature Center. Very exciting, I'm sure, for everyone that's here. Can you talk about what that milestone means and then just some of the history of the Nature Center itself?
Sure. So we have dubbed it, for those who like a good pun, our Bearth Day, our 50th anniversary, aka Bearth Day.
That's excellent, by the
yes.
way. I just need to say that. That's excellent. And if you don't like a good pun, I don't know what.
If you'd like to extend it further, Kylee has taken it a step further to the Over the Foothills Bearth Day, with us being located in the foothills.
This is amazing.
Yes.
You guys, you do great work here, and it's clear.
We have fun while we're working hard and doing a lot of connecting to the community. So a point of pride for us, and some people may not know this, is that Bear Creek Nature Center was the first nature center to open in Colorado in 1976. It opened as the Solar Trails Center, much, much smaller building, much smaller footprint, and it had 18 solar panels on the roof, and El Paso County Parks opened that with the goal in mind being education, community and public education. And so it's really amazing that the Nature Center has gone through so many changes over the years. Even within the first, I think, 5 years of opening, they were doing expansion because the community really connected to this place. They were serving thousands of school children for field trips within the first couple years, so that the community attached to this place and really utilized it from early on. And the Nature Center just continued to grow in response to that need. One of the, I know there was a major expansion in 1994 with new exhibits and more space to accommodate the school buses full of children that were rolling down the hill to come here. And then kind of a tragic part of the story with a silver lining. In 2000, staff was arriving early in the morning before the sun was up to prepare for one of their hallmark annual events, the Spring Hike, which was incredibly popular with the community, and they arrived to find the building in flames. And that nature center was a total loss. It was an arson fire. What is really incredible about that story is that the staff continued, they were attached to the heart of our mission, even with no building. So they were set up in trailers to work for the next couple years. They sat in the parking lot and did puppet shows for children in the parking lot. The schools continued to come. So they just kept staying attached to the heart of our mission with or without a building. And in 2002, the current building that we have here, this wonderful center, was open to the public. And that was partly due to just an upswell of community support. That was the first time that folks had their tax excess, the Tabor refunds. That was the first time that Tabor refunds were appropriated for a project. It went to a vote, and that was part of why the Nature Center was able to reopen so quickly and in such a grand scale and capacity.
And doing a lot of like research and things too for the 50th anniversary. I've been finding lots of old news articles and things, and there was one that I found where this group of school children was literally doing like a penny drive and bringing in their change and things from the school district, from the school, because they'd been to our programs before. They loved the Nature Center and they wanted to help rebuild it. So that was one of the really, really cool articles that I found, and just a testament to how much the community cared that this building was no longer here, that they were able to do a penny drive even just to help raise funds to have this back again and be able to have somewhere to go for the school districts too.
Yeah, so you had mentioned a couple things throughout the history, and then I wanted to go into kind of what's going on right now.
Yeah.
Whenever I think about the Nature Center, I think of all the great summer programs that are available for the kids. But, you mentioned Spring Hike, and I know there are other things that happen. So throughout the year, can you just talk about some of the regular offerings that are available to kids of all ages, right? That come to the Nature Center?
Yeah, it's kids, families, adults, it's everyone, and it's all throughout the year. We have a very small but mighty team that does a ton of different things. So we are doing field trips often, mostly in the spring and fall, but we do those throughout the year as well. During the summer, we do 5 weeks of summer day camps where the students come and they're with us basically from 9 to 3, Monday through Friday, and we get to just help them connect to nature and inspire them to be stewards as well. So not just knowing things, but taking action to steward and protect those places too. We also do lots of public programming throughout the year, generally geared more towards children, but we have programs for families and we have programs just for adults as well. So lots of things to look out for. Some of the things that we do often are our special events as well. Fall is typically the best time for those, but we do our bear run every year. We have our extravaganza up at Fox Run Regional Park. We do a Bear Creek by Candlelight event around the holiday season. So there's always something happening here. Speaking of special events though, the big one that we're super excited for with the 50th anniversary is on August 22nd. It's going to be our birthday party. So we're opening it up free and open to the public, and tons of different activities and things, highlighting some of the past programming we've done, as well as looking towards the future and all the things that Bear Creek has been and will be continuing forward too.
Sorry, real quick to jump in. How easy was it to come up with the name Birthday Party? Like that was just like the second you knew it was going to happen, that was on the tip of your tongue, right?
Kylee and I sat down to plan programming for maybe 2024.
Yeah.
Okay.
And somehow got on a roll talking about the fact that our birthday was coming up. And by the end of that meeting, we had like the whole year's worth of programming and the birthday party already rolling along in the planning. And the naming was just as fun as the nuts and bolts.
And I heard extravaganza. I mean, we're off to a rolling start here. This is really great.
Thank you. Yeah. Another thing that we'll do during that birthday party that I think will be really like unique opportunity for folks. Our goal is to connect people to natural and cultural history. The natural history part for us here just comes so naturally. Didn't mean that one. Can't take credit. We're surrounded by the natural world. That's where we spend a lot of our time. But sometimes we aren't as strong in the cultural history part of things. And so we're really excited during the birthday party. One fun aspect of that will be living history walks, where folks will walk a trail and they'll meet characters along the way that tie back to the history of Bear Creek Canyon, going all the way back to the 1800s, taking us to the present day Bear Creek Nature Center now. So we're very excited about that. And that's a way for us to get more invested in that cultural history of this area too, which is also really fascinating.
Yeah, no, that's really great. So I've had the wonderful fortune to walk along a lot of the trails here at Bear Creek Nature Center. And I know that a couple of programs have come about in the recent years that have, I think, really enhanced some of those trails. And I wanted to specifically call out something called the Trailability Program, but then also the VIP Trail that's here at Bear Creek Nature Center. For those who may not be familiar with what those are, can you kind of talk through those initiatives and the goals that you had behind them as you were creating them?
Honestly, the big goal of starting both of these programs was ensuring that everyone has access to the outdoors. And that includes folks with disabilities that might not otherwise be able to access those trails. So the Trailability Program started in 2022, and we have these vehicles called terrain hoppers that are for folks with disabilities, and they can use these vehicles to hike on our trails at Bear Creek Nature Center and at Fountain Creek Nature Center. So we're able to send them out on the trails with our volunteers that are trained to go with them and let them experience nature in maybe ways they haven't been able to ever before or haven't been able to access for a really long time. So we're really happy to be able to offer that for free as well to the public and make sure that even if I came out here and was hiking the trails, I do it for free, so they should also be able to do it for free as well. And we've seen so much growth in that program. We started out with just a 3-month hiking season. It's now 6 months of hiking that we're able to offer for folks at both nature centers with nice long trails and everything. And we're really excited this year as well to be expanding even further up at Fox Run Regional Park too. So we'll be offering hikes there this summer on a trial basis and hopefully expanding that in the future when we can as well. But it's just been a really cool program to be part of and see the expression on people's faces heading out and coming back. There's like that trepidation when you first start, but by the end, it is just the full, like, exuberant joy that they get to feel, and feeling the sun on your face and seeing the wildlife that's here and stopping by the creek. And it's just such a joyful program for the participant and for the folks that are with them too. It's just been, I keep using the word joy, but I can't think of a better word to describe it. Like, it is just such a joyful program to be part of. And we're happy to be able to offer that too.
Yeah, and that joy you're talking about, I've heard it in a number of conversations that I've had with people with the Trailability Program. I had the opportunity to talk to Todd Martz. It was a little while ago at this point, but he told me this amazing story about this older couple who had been coming to the nature center for years and years and years. And then at one point, the husband was unable to, walk the trails with his wife anymore. And so she would FaceTime him. Mm-hmm. And then the Trailability Program came around, and then they were able to go back to, doing those weekly walks with each other. And, just hearing stories like that, I mean, that's a story that would, I think, just never get told, and people would never hear about it unless we had opportunities to talk about it like this. But I mean, that you talk about joy and you talk about passion for the outdoors and that kind of thing. That you can't manufacture that. It's just something that's ingrained in you, and something that, this couple obviously means a lot to them. And so being able to extend that joy, like you talk about, in that kind of way, it's invaluable and just really great to hear stories like that.
We've cried countless times reading folks' evaluations after they've done the Trailability Program, and just recognizing that impact and being able to give people the opportunity to have that joy that maybe they didn't before. It really touches us.
Yeah. And then, so that's a lot of really great stuff about the Trailability Program. I am curious about the VIP Trail. I know that is fairly recent in its existence as well, but can you talk a little bit about that one too?
Absolutely. I feel like our team for a number of years now has really at the forefront of our mind with all of the programming that we do, always has the thought, what other aspects of the community maybe aren't we reaching, and how can we better do that? How can we give them opportunities to come and connect and engage? Trailability was the first really big endeavor that where I feel like we're meeting that mark, and that inspired us within a couple years of that to do the VIP, or Visually Impaired Persons Trail. We have a volunteer at the nature centers, Monica, who is legally blind, and she was an incredible resource. We also worked with Colorado School for the Deaf and Blind to help us through the process of informing that project and making sure that it was meeting the audience that we hope to in the way that would be impactful. So it started, we have a songbird trail already that was a boardwalk that was flat and safe. So it lent itself really well to this. So we put rope in along there with knots to guide folks. And where we have interpretive signs, a knot will indicate to them this is where there's an interpretive sign. We were not able to use a QR code system because cell service is spotty in this little oasis down here. So per Monica, our legally blind volunteers recommendation, we went with something called a pen friend device. And what's so nice about that is anybody can use this, even if it's somebody that does not have a phone. They come into the nature center, they borrow this device for free, and where they find interpretive signs, they scan the sign and it will read the content aloud to them. And since we put the trail itself in, we've expanded that to also encompass like a number of our indoor exhibits here.
Oh, okay.
We'll be doing a new exhibit this year that we're very excited about. And that exhibit, as well as any new exhibit going forward, will be tied into this program so that we automatically do the signage in a way that it's tied into the VIP program.
That's great. So I'd love to hear some of that feedback you have received on that, because you mentioned that some evaluations you received about trailability. Have you received similar type of evaluations for the VIP trail yet?
We get more, how would I say that? Like verbal feedback from folks
sure.
that come back
Yeah.
and do that. It's a little bit less formal. Like for the trailability, folks are registering online to do that. It's free, but they do register. So we have a means to send them a survey later via email. For VIP, we literally will say, come talk to us when you're done, please. And then come out and we get their feedback on that. It's been really helpful. Even small things that we might not have thought about, where the dots are that you scan the pen friend device over, just having something raised in that spot to identify that that's where that is. Just small things that make the experience better that we ourselves may not have thought about. People that come in and use that trail have been a really great resource for us to just make it better and smoother.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things I wanted to focus on is just how adaptable your team seems to be with the needs of the community as they're coming in, giving you suggestions, and then it's like, oh yeah, we can do that. Like let's make that happen. So just hearing that kind of stuff and how easy you make it here at the Bear Creek Nature Center for the community to participate in all that there is to offer, I think is just great, and I think speaks very highly of the team, and letting the community know that you're open to those suggestions and to hear that feedback from them.
Yeah, and this nature center, El Paso County Nature Center, it belongs to our community. This is your nature center if you're hearing this. So that's the best way to function. We want to know what the community would like to see more of, how we can better serve them, and then see how we can try to make that happen.
And I think a big part of being a naturalist as well is you're kind of a jack of all trades and you know a little bit about everything, but you're also very willing to learn and to listen. And there's always some new aspect or element that you can add to it that elevates your experience as the educator, but also helps elevate and connect with other people too, and make sure that they also have that good experience in nature too.
Said.
Thank you.
And what's great is it's not just your team here that is doing work to try and better this area and better the community around you. You do have a lot of partners that take place in that process as well. Can you talk about some of those partnerships and why they're so valuable to the work that you guys do?
Absolutely. I have to start by talking about the Friends of El Paso County Nature Centers. I would say they are our premier partner. So El Paso County Nature Centers are El Paso County facilities, and we're also extremely fortunate. We work in partnership with Friends of El Paso County Nature Centers. This partnership really is the gift that keeps on giving. They support both Bear Creek and Fountain Creek Nature Centers and all of the education that we do. So when folks come here and do a program, we try to keep our costs very, very low, but we do charge minimal fees. Those 100% feed back into our nonprofit, Friends of El Paso County Nature Centers, and that helps us continue to churn the education wheel and keep programs affordable and keep offering more and trying to connect more of our community. And they support both Bear Creek and Fountain Creek Nature Center. They actually started informally almost as soon as the Nature Center started.
Oh, wow.
And then they became formalized a 501c3 a handful of years later. But so instrumental, even at a time when the economy was really struggling. In 2008 to 2010, there was a risk of the nature centers needing to close. And the our friends group was able to work with the county and provide enough support to keep the nature centers open, even if it was in a bare bones way,
Right.
less staff, but we stayed open to the public and were able to keep connecting and serving in that way. So our friends of El Paso County Nature Centers is just a fabulous partner. The Bear Creek or the Pikes Peak Beekeeping Association is another one that's just been an ongoing partnership for many years. They help us with one of our hallmark events every year, the Honey Harvest, where they extract honey, teach people how to be beekeepers. They'll be doing their beekeeping school here in March. And those are just a couple examples of how we're able to expand our reach and expand the education that we do in the community because so many great community partnerships.
Absolutely. And I would also want to add, we have a really, really big event in the fall. It's our biggest fundraiser of the year called the Bear Creek Bear Run. And it's just a silly, fun event that really helps us raise money for that nonprofit organization that supports us. But we also have some really amazing collaborators that help with that as well, whether that be sponsorship or day of fun activities like bear yoga and things. We
Peaceful Warriors.
Peaceful
Shout out.
Warriors. Thanks, Peaceful Warriors. But those organizations providing in-kind things as well as sponsorship truly helps keep the wheel turning and allows us to then be able to offer some of those programs for free. And visiting the El Paso County Nature Centers is also completely free. You are welcome here anytime. We are open Tuesday through Saturday, 9 to 4. You're welcome to come in and just see all of the amazing things that we have in here, learn more about our programming, hike those beautiful trails. That is free and open to the public as well.
And it's really a thing of beauty for us. We see this all the time. On a Saturday, you'll see a family come through the door. Maybe they have several children. They spend some time in our exhibits, which are really engaging and hands-on, kid-friendly. Then maybe they go out and hike for a while. They might borrow some of our little resources that they could take out on the trail. They come back in. They might eat lunch on the patio in the back, and then they come back and spend more time. And then you realize they have walked out the door after maybe 5-6 hours of a wonderful day together, and they have not spent 1 cent. And I think that is such a treasure. So in addition to like the formal programming that we do, our center itself is just a really wonderful resource for our community.
Yeah, I agree. And I look forward to all of the events that you guys do throughout the year. I'm sure that the birthday is going to be quite the blowout and it's going to be a lot of fun. But just before we close out the conversation here, I just did want to give you guys both an opportunity. If there's anything else that you think would be important for our listeners to know, whether it be about the Nature Center itself or just any of the work that you do.
I think we mentioned this already, that we are free. We are a community resource. We belong to the citizens of El Paso County. So we hope people come and spend time here and utilize this great resource that they have. And then all of the programming that we do, we try to reach every aspect of the community. So if you visit the website, elpasoco.com/nature centers. You'll see all of the things that we have going on through this spring. Truly something for everyone. We really try to enhance quality of life for our citizens as an El Paso County facility and in really fun ways. We do it in a really fun way.
I would just like to add, as a final closing note, that we hope to see you at the Bear Creek Nature Center 50th anniversary birthday party coming up on August 22nd. Again, it is going to be free to the public, and we're going to have so many fun activities and things, paying homage to the past of Bear Creek, looking forward to the future, and just having a really good time together celebrating what an amazing resource that this is.
Awesome. Well, thank you both for taking the time today. This was a great conversation. I loved it. So Mary Jo and Kylee, thank you very much for that and for taking the time. I appreciate all the work that you do for the community here in El Paso County. So thank you, Scott.
Thanks for having us on.
Thanks.
If you're interested in listening to additional episodes of Beyond the Dais, be sure to look for us on Podbean or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.